Ciao belli, welcome to my studio. This is a new vlog. We're gonna talk about some geeky stuff, lenses. You're gonna like this. It's a Cine lens by Viltrox 56mm MFT. We're gonna talk about it right after this short video I filmed entirely on this lens and the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K. I'll see you after the intro. First of all, I'm gonna say thanks to Giovanni, the FPV drone pilot who helped me with the vlog. Go and check him out on Instagram as well. We filmed another cool video last week and you can watch the video right here. By the way, we're talking about today a Cine lens by Viltrox 56mm MFT. MFT stands for Micro Four Thirds, which usually refers to the sensor of the camera, but also to the mount of a lens, for example. So an MFT lens will match an MFT sensor on your camera. To go more in the specific, this is a Cine lens, prime lens, which means it's not a zoom lens. The focal length is fixed at 56mm exactly. Bear also in mind that a 56mm focal length on a Micro Four Thirds corresponds more or less at 100mm lens on a full frame camera. So it's a very long lens when put on a Micro Four Thirds camera. For example, my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K, which matches the mount because it's a Micro Four Thirds camera. Primarily, it's a lens made for filming, videography, that sort of content production. If you check the Viltrox website, this lens comes in a kit with other two lenses, which are the 23 and 33mm. It's a great focal length for B-roll, for example, interviews and portrait videos as well. You probably saw some of those during the video at the beginning of the vlog. We'll talk about the price and then we go into more specs. £309 on Viltrox website. Also, all the links here in the description below. The build is made of aluminum alloy, most of the lens, even the lid in the front. The only one made of plastic is the lid at the back here. It feels really solid actually and professional. It's quite heavy for a tiny lens like that. My only complaint so far is the lid, which is not deep enough here. So as soon as you touch it, it comes off the lens and it just drops. So that's something that could be improved. Apart from that, it feels really, really nice. It features two gears, one for the aperture and one for the follow focus. There's no particular noises as I reviewed in another lens, which was a bit squeaky. This one flows and it's very smooth, so no complaints about that. We talk about the mount, Micro Four Thirds. And what I enjoyed of this lens also, you will find a screw thread here in the front of the lens for the screw-on filters, which is great. So you can just simply buy a step-up ring and mount any filter you want on it, or simply just buy a filter with the same diameter. It's a 62mm filter diameter, in case you're wondering. We're gonna move to the dimensions and weight of the lens. So we've got, in terms of size, 72 by 75. The weight is 540 grams. That's what I'm saying. It's quite a heavy lens for this tiny item. But I guess the glass is good. Aperture is quite a large aperture. We go from T1.5 to T16. Now, we're not talking about f-stops here, because otherwise we would have said f1.5 and f16. F-stops usually relate to how much light enters at the front of the lens, right here. But the T-stops are related to how much light actually get to your sensor, which is usually less because the light going through the lens get lost in the way. So to have a T1.5, it means the f-stop is even brighter. So talking about f-stops, this is probably a lens that goes from f1.2, I would say, something like that, to f15. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not that technical to test it out, but it's definitely a bright lens. Inside the lens, we have 14 blades. So if you look at the aperture, at the iris there, you will notice the aperture, which is literally the hole that allows the light to get through the lens to your sensor. There's different blades that create the hole. The more the blades, usually the better is the bokeh, so you don't have weird vignettes and things like that. And also for light flares, we don't have those stars light effects around the lights. You create a more roundish flare if you want. Okay, I talked about the focus ring, and because this lens is only manual, so you will only find manual focus here. And of course, you've got your gear at the front. You can simply focus there. In terms of minimal focus distance, we can start focusing from an object at 63 centimeters. Well, for the people that are asking for stabilization, forget about it. It's a Cine lens. Usually we don't find any stabs in those kind of lenses. Okay, flares. We filmed a few clips by night actually, and again, I enjoyed the flares because they're quite plain. They don't have these sharp shapes, and they're very roundish. I think it was lovely to film nighttime. It's a very bright lens. I didn't have any trouble. I had to push the ISO, of course, on the Blackmagic a little bit because it was really dark. We filmed in a field in nighttime with a few studio lights. So I had to keep the T at 1.5. Very bright, very open. But yeah, I did the job. I really enjoyed the footage, and my friends as well, Giovanni and Joe, really liked the lens. I think that's what I wanted to cover about the lens. If you have any question, drop it down here. Go and check the Viltrox website. I say thanks to them because they sent me the lens here to test out, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope they will send me also the other two missing from the kit. All right, guys, hit subscribe. You know what to do. I'll see you in the next video. Go check my playlist. There's a lot of stuff there about content creation, camera gear, everything you want to know about filming and photography. All right, thanks for watching. Ciao.